to another episode of Cooking with Kids. I have Sebastian with me today. We are going to be making meatloaf for dinner. What you need to make meatloaf is about 1.5 pounds of some ground meat, a multi-seasoning, an all-purpose seasoning. We make our own. It's onion powder, garlic powder, salt, and pepper. Very easy. You need 1 egg, some breadcrumbs, and some barbecue sauce and ketchup. So the first thing you do to make your meatloaf is you get a bowl that you can mix all these ingredients into. You first dump your about pound and a half of meat. This is about 1.5 pounds. We did wash our hands before, so there we go. And then after you pour or dump your 1.5 pounds of meat in the bowl, you take your all-purpose seasoning and you sprinkle it across the top. Very careful, because you don't want to oversalt it, right? I think that looks great. And then you go ahead and crack your egg. Am I cracking the egg?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and take that. So I'm going to take my egg, tap it a little bit, pull it open, let it drop in. That egg is important because it helps that meat bind together. Will you open the trash, please? And every time you crack an egg, it's super important to wash your hands. While I'm finishing up this, Sebastian, you may take those breadcrumbs and you're going to sprinkle breadcrumbs on the meat. And what I like to do is sprinkle forward, sprinkle back, and that should be enough. Yep, and do it again. Excellent. Yeah. See about how much he put in there? I would say it's about 1/2 cup, maybe 3/4 cup. No need to measure here. This meatloaf is going to be good regardless.
It's a lot.
You think it's a lot? I don't think it's too much. So we have meat, we have seasoning, we have breadcrumbs, and an egg. How many ingredients is that? Yep,
4.
Nice, 4. How many ingredients do we have left?
2.
Nice, sorry, my arm was in front of your face. So now what I do is take good old Heinz ketchup, and I'm going to take it and squeeze it and just go back and forth. And then I close it. Will you put the lid on that so it doesn't fall? I'm going to take this spoon. I'm going to mix up these ingredients. Would you like to do that? And it looks like he's breaking it apart. It might take a good adult stir. You want these mixed really well. If you're comfortable putting your clean hands in and mush it together that way, that's how my mom does it. That I learned how to make this meatloaf from. But a spoon will work. You just have to take your time. So Sebastian, I'm going to go ahead and do a couple parent stirs. No, it's okay. I'm going to do a couple parent stirs here. Get it nice and mixed up. Meanwhile, why don't you clear those ingredients to the side, and we're going to be putting the meatloaf into a casserole dish that I've already sprayed with non-stick cooking spray. So, Sebastian, let me mix this a little more, and then you are going to dump it into a casserole dish. You can use a loaf. You want me to do it? Are you worried about spilling?
I just don't want to do it.
Why not?
I just don't want to spill it.
What's going to happen if you spill it? Our counter's clean. We make messes in the kitchen. Beautiful messes. No. So, here we go, buddy. I think this is good. Are you sure you want me to dump it, or do you want to give it a try?
Yes.
So now go ahead and get that barbecue sauce, Sebastian, and take that lid off. I'm going to put this meatloaf in here. Just going to dump the bowl in. And then I'm going to take the meatloaf, push it down with my spoon, turn it around, and all I'm doing is flattening it. And now Sebastian is going to add a very important ingredient. You could use ketchup if you don't have barbecue sauce, and he's going to drizzle it generously. Do you remember that word from the other day? Generous means he's not going to do just a little bit. He's not going to do a lot. He's going to do a lot, so that it makes it nice and moist. He's going to go across the whole pan of meat with barbecue sauce. Is it a little tricky? You can also, if you want to, use the spoon to spread it apart.
I just don't want to make it too much.
Generous means almost too much, but not too much. So I think you're right in your thinking. Oh, that looks beautiful. Let's show our audience what that looks like. So he put barbecue sauce all across the top. And I'm right now moving it around so it gets to the edges. Delicious, super easy, right? So now, Sebastian, would you like to put it in the oven? I'll open it for you. And we will have our oven at 350 degrees. It was already warming before we hit record. Be very careful not to touch the hot sides. And this will take about 45 minutes at 350 degrees. Again, all ovens vary. So after about 40 minutes, pull it out. I always take a knife and cut the inside and see if it's done or not. So we'll check that in about 45 minutes. So it has been 40 minutes. We are going to pull out our meatloaf to give it a check to see if it's done. Go ahead and open the oven, Sebastian, and I will pull it out. Oh, that smells amazing. You know, just right here, you can tell the chances are that it's going to be done. Do you see around the edges there? Ooh, and it's boiling and bubbling. So I'm gonna set it right here on the stove. I'm gonna take my fork just to pry it open. I'm gonna give it a cut in there, and oh my goodness, we have cooked some sweet potatoes in the Instapot. Those are gonna be done in 4 minutes, and there's our meal. Thanks for joining us today. Hopefully you'll make some meatloaf and enjoy it with your family.